Most people think scarcity is about money, but in many cases, scarcity is actually a nervous system pattern. Someone can have opportunities, skills, ideas, even a clear vision for their life and still remain stuck in the same financial and life patterns. Why? Because the nervous system is organized around survival rather than expansion. Today, I want to talk about how the nervous system holds scarcity patterns and why wealth embodiment requires more than mindset. It requires building the capacity in the body to actually hold a different level of life. The first thing is that scarcity is often a learned pattern in the nervous system. So oftentimes people train their nervous system to constrict rather than to expand. And so no matter how many affirmations you're doing or doing the mindsets, recalibrations and all of that, your body is not capable of holding what you are calling in because the body remembers instability, disappointment, financial stress, because that is how you train the body. And it's not to put shame on that, it's to just get clarification that when we go through financial stress, when we go through instability, our body remembers that. And so therefore, our body keeps the score. So it's got to be deeper than just saying affirmations and working on the mind. It's all about working on the body as well, because the nervous system adapts to whatever experience that we're having. And if we're not regulating the nervous system, it just continues to hold those stories and those patterns over time. The nervous system protects the familiar. So oftentimes, when we are desiring something more, the nervous system is like, hey, hold on. I'm not too sure about that. The nervous system is still trying to play it safe, even if the familiar pattern is scarcity. It is safe, just like how the mind protects, so does the nervous system. As a visionary leader and a founder, you are mentally ready to raise prices. You want to do that. However, there is a fear, and that fear lives inside the body. And that is why, even if you are attempting, there's a part of you that is resisting. Also, fear of visibility. You're afraid to put yourself out there, even though, again, that's what you want to do mentally. You know that that is the next level. However, your nervous system is trained to keep you small. It is trained to keep you safe. Another fear is investing into mentorships or containers that can actually help you to thrive and to transcend the fear. Why? Because that takes a level of discomfort, that takes a level of trust. And your nervous system is not trained to trust. Also, not finishing projects, because finishing projects requires responsibility. It requires for you to follow through. So if you're not following through, it's not so much that you don't want to. It's because the nervous system, again, is playing it safe. It's pretty much saying, let's just stay here, because within this little container that we created, we don't have to follow through. We don't have to have the responsibility. So if something was to happen, it's not our fault. And sometimes what people are calling discernment is actually your nervous system avoiding. So this is why embodiment is so important. learning how to work with your body somatically. Transformation must include the body because the nervous system must learn that expansion is safe, especially after so many years of it being trained to be in this level of constriction and resistance. So it takes more than a mindset. You can't think your way into a new life. You have to learn to embody it. No matter how spiritually advanced the technique is, quantum physics, timeline jumping, all of that makes sense. However, there is a embodiment practice that you must commit to as well. And a lot of that spiritual language is bypassing the deeper work that relates to being able to hold whatever it is that you are desiring. The work that I teach is rooted in what I call internal architecture framework. It's all about organizing your internal world so you can actually hold the life that you want, to stabilize in that life, to hold your power. And it's all about working through the different energetic bodies that relates to maintaining your center, to hold that and to function from that level of sovereignty and ownership. Wealth embodiment means developing the internal capacity to hold resources, responsibility, and opportunity. So most people focus on just attracting wealth. You focus on actually embodying wealth, that frequency, even before the finances come in, before you actually see it in your bank account. That embodiment is the first level because wealth requires containment, emotional maturity, and nervous system stability. Without that structure, people unconsciously return to familiar patterns. These are some questions for you to reflect on. When you imagine the life you say you want, what does your nervous system do? Does it expand? Does it contract? Do you feel safe to hold it? Or does something inside you hesitate? Because becoming the person that can hold wealth, leadership, and expansion is not just about vision, it is about capacity. And capacity is built through the body. Let it land.